Welcome, come and have a seat on the couch with me as I have a very loving and supportive message to share with you today. And this came up in a conversation that I was just having with a friend, and it was a really great nugget of wisdom that I'm excited to share with you. So, how to turn depression into the career of your dreams, and why depression is the greatest gift for your career. So, I've been on my own journey with depression. I had severe depression for years. I had to switch careers because I physically couldn't show up and work in film production anymore. I had whole weeks where I couldn't do any work. I had to sleep so much. I couldn't do anything. And I went through a very big transformation process in learning how to connect to, listen to, and understand my emotions. And it's still a journey that I'm on every single day of life, and coming to deeper and more deeper levels of understanding and more compassionate ways of navigating the emotional minefield that is being a human being. So I feel this message is particularly poignant at this time of year with the holidays coming up. And, the number one thing that creates a depressed state of mind is, self-judgment, putting pressure on ourselves, having really high expectations. And the antidote to all of this is really compassion. So how does this translate to career decisions and pivoting to create a work and life that is really fulfilling, that expands us to be able to receive more joy and to feel more fulfilled? So, I've been there. I've been a culprit of putting myself under so much pressure, having really high expectations, trying to be all the things and do all of the things, and didn't work out for me very well. So I've had to recondition and retrain myself to live in a way that is compassionate to who I am, to my physical body. It really coming to a place of being able to listen and to be able to respond in an intelligent way that results in feeling good. And one of my favorite mantras that I share with my clients is give yourself permission to half-ass it, right? Perfection does not exist. And as soon as we give ourselves permission to just take a baby step or to just do the best that we can, suddenly we release a lot of that resistance that was making us feel really stuck and bogged down. And we end up getting way more done, even if that thing that we need to get done is taking a 4-hour nap, which sometimes is the most productive thing that you can do with your day, so that you can show up with more energy to be able to be able to execute in a way that creates the results that you were put on this earth to create. We're not robots, we're people with feelings. And, the process of going through a depression, I really believe, is the body's way of just sending you a signal that stop going out in the world, stop taking action, stop being sociable, stop having conversations, because the conversation that you need to be having is the one with yourself. So that's where that lethargy comes in. It's really the body's way of protecting and bringing you in to say, look, there's something that needs to be looked at here. There's an emotion that needs to be felt. There's a message that needs to be received. And it's very important that you receive that. So, and I've really learned that through the process of being able to experience my emotions when suddenly things aren't feeling good, or I start to get lethargy or fatigue, and just start feeling like I need to, pull back and isolate, which is often one thing that people experiencing symptoms of depression do. And there's a very good reason for that. But, for me, it really took me asking for help and creating a safe space for me to be able to listen to my emotions, to gather that information so that I could take different action and start, redirecting the course that I was on, so that I started taking actions and creating circumstances that were fulfilling, that were uplifting and energizing. And it, felt really good for me because they were more in alignment with who I am. So your body is always trying to take care of you. It's always trying to point you in the right direction. And it always, always, always pays off when you learn to listen to that. So listening to our emotions is a courageous act of strength that many people have not learned to cultivate. We're generally told to shove our emotions down and to ignore them, to not express them. And, depending on which cultures you're from, and, really that hasn't really got us anywhere good. So that it's a very courageous act to enter the reconditioning process of really starting to listen and to act on your emotional responses, because it's your way of navigating the world around you, seeing what's a good fit for you and seeing what's not a good fit for you. So, it's really a process. It's an invitation to gather that information, to get really quiet and to start listening, and to build those tools and those processes that allow you to do that in a way that's objective, that's productive, that's not, obviously spiraling into a negative story. And I've been there and learned how to course correct and, prevent that from happening. But it is a practice. And that's where mindset work comes in, really having the tools to be able to weed out the negative stories that aren't supporting you, turn them into positive ones, and for them to translate into actions that allow you to build a life around you that allows you to come out of your shell, to fully express who you are in safety, in, alignment, and allows you to do your work in the world in a way that feels good for you. And so we're going to dig more into this shortly. So first of all, you identify what's not working, right? What's causing the negative emotion that doesn't feel good? What are the actions? What are the circumstances? What are the conversations? What are the ways that you're showing up? What are the responses that you're getting from the world around you that is causing you to not feel good? A lot of the time, that's a story that we're carrying from our past, a belief that we created about ourselves. And obviously that listening process allows us to do that cleanup. And then we're invited to be called to change. So it's an invitation for you to connect to what you deeply care about, what actually feels good for you, what doesn't feel good for you, what's important to you, what's not important to you, and to allow that emotion to really motivate your life and your career choices. And when you actually do that deep listening and you connect in with, this is making me feel terrible. Well, why is that? Why is that not in alignment with my belief system, with what it is that I value? And, there are many reasons why we all have a long list of reasons why we shouldn't be feeling good, right? If you really tune into the problems that we have in our society around us, in, obviously in our families and in our friendships, in mental health, physical health, in connection, community, in global warming, in, a lot of the ways that we are invited to live in the world, and that we feel it's, that's just the way that it goes, can create a lot of dissonance, because it is at odds with what it is that we really value and what it is that really serves and supports us. And there's a really valuable message in that, because when you really start to listen to your emotions, you tune into what it is that you value, you tune into what it is that you really care about, and you have an emotional charge around that inspires you to be able to create change and to take that belief system and those values out into the world and start solving problems with it. Because when you allow that very real and raw emotion that's a part of who you are to motivate the way that you are working, you're going to have the most passion for it, you're going to have the most motivation for it, and you're going to have the most success with being able to enroll people into that mission. And you've got a very, it's a very good evidence that this is an important change, because if you feel this emotional about it, you can be sure that there are other human beings out in the world that also really care about this and see this as a problem and want this to change. So, obviously the first step, first and foremost, the biggest lesson that comes from depression is self-care, right? You can't go out and do powerful work in the world until you are taken care of, your needs are met, you're supported, and you are strong to be able to go and implement and carry out your belief systems and implement problem solving for the things that you really care about and value. So this is the power of really listening to how you actually feel and allowing your emotions to guide you to the work that you're really put here in the world to do, the problems that you are the best equipped to solve, because you have that passion, because you have that deep connection, and you have that deep understanding of the problem and the desire to solve it. So, nothing can take away your truth. If something's really resonating for you, if something is really true for you, it will always be there. And you always have the opportunity to sit down and to listen and to create space for that, so that you can harvest that wisdom, so that you can use it to, determine what actions you need to take that are going to bring you back into a place of passion and motivation and power to really do work that's meaningful for you, that's fulfilling for you, and that's having the impact that really makes you happy, because it's the solution that you really care about seeing in the world. So, you know, that's really the message that I'm inviting you to take away. Sometimes we have to feel the painful emotions and to be really honest and say, this doesn't make me feel good. And really ask, why that is. And ask yourself what that would look like if that problem was solved, if that situation was going in a way that would make you feel expansive and happy and fulfilled, and like things were in alignment and things were as they should be. And what does that shift look like? And without obviously putting yourself under pressure or getting overwhelmed, but really giving yourself permission that in just listening to that, in acknowledging that, and in taking baby steps to just start to explore the answers of what that solution might look like, you create really powerful change, not only within yourself, but within your relationships and within your community around you. So don't run away from the negative emotions. Don't avoid them. Don't avoid doing the listening and allowing yourself to sit in what's painful, because there's an important lesson in there, and it's you're the person that has the power and the capability to be able to create that change first in your own life, which then opens the doors for many, many other people to experience that solution as well. So I hope this message resonates with you. I'm going to be diving more into the conversation of how to navigate our emotions, how to navigate challenges in a way that we can really maintain the energy levels to go out and take action, to build our dream businesses, to transition our careers to the ones that we're most passionate about, over inside the Big Creative Fun Facebook community. So do go, and I'll pop the link below. Come and join us to continue that conversation. And I would love to hear any insights or feedback that you have received from this message. And if you know anyone who would be uplifted, please do share it with them. And thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day. Bye.